Obviously, the big thing for Rangers was to get a win, just because the derby results had been so bad throughout the season, but if they had scraped a last-minute winner or something like that, I don't think it would have had... yes, there would have been joy, but it wouldn't have had the same impact. I just think psychologically, it's 4 months... Rangers and Celtic will meet again in 4 months' time at Ibrox in the first game of the league next season, the first derby of the league season. Can you imagine if Celtic, bearing in mind that they had, they chose to rest Diogo and some key players, and obviously Cameron Carter-Vickers and others were missing. If Celtic had left Ibrox undefeated, can you imagine the difference in mentality going into that first derby of next season? It would have been totally different, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, that's not just for Rangers' point of view, Gav. That's for Celtic's point of view. Because I think, as you say, if Rangers had just scraped a 1-0 and it was a kind of even game, or Celtic had the better of it, their fans would have come away from it thinking, well, listen, we rested a lot of players, they've got lucky with a win, it was always going to happen or whatever. But I genuinely think a lot of their fans and the manager will have looked at that again, not just the result, but the actual performance, and they'll have come away to that think, oof, that's a sore one. Do you know what I mean?
That was the thing. It's all about the manner of it. It was the way the game went, wasn't it? It's probably the only outcome where Rangers fans could really have, enjoyed it so much. And that's what Celtic didn't want Rangers. They didn't want to give Rangers any hope. From that aspect, are you surprised that Ange Postecoglou chose? Obviously they've got the cup final coming up, but they've got other games coming up, which are pretty much meaningless. Are you surprised that he didn't just give it one last big push even if it was for the psychological aspect, to say, we're going to keep this run going?
I think he would have, Gav. You're talking about players missing. It's only really leaving Kyogo out. That was his only kind of big decision. And of course, if Kyogo's left out, he's the top scorer in the league. Celtic's talisman this season. Of course, they're going to miss him. It was a chance for O to impress. And up until now, I have been impressed with O when he's come on. But he didn't do too well, obviously, on Saturday. But he's still a South Korean international striker. But the other ones, Carter-Vickers is injured, Johnson's injured. He plays Liel Abada for Maida. But I think you speak to a lot of Celtic fans that would say, Abada's better than Maida, or certainly against Rangers. You could argue he's had far more of an impact. Abada's destroyed Rangers at times in a couple of the Old Firm games, especially going up against Borna Barisic. So I'm not having the argument, it's a weakened team and they've only taken it as seriously. Listen, we can't say... we can't go through a whole season praising Ange Postecoglou for his relentlessness and his, the way he goes about the job and the way he approaches it, and then say, he maybe took the foot off the gas. I don't believe that for a minute. And listen, I was in the press room post-match, immediately after full time, and trust me, the look on Ange Postecoglou's face, the way he spoke, that performance and result hurt him and maybe even surprised him. I actually think, looking back on that game, I don't know what you think, but I think actually Ange Postecoglou maybe learned more about some of his players than Michael Beale did about the Rangers players. I think all the players that played for Rangers, Michael Beale kind of knows what they're going to give him. Do you know what I mean? And he left out Morelos, Kent was missing. He basically went with a team of guys that he knows the majority of them will be there next season. And he went into that game knowing the players that he picked in the starting 11 were probably going to give him everything. And that's the way it turned out. There'll be one or two in the starting 11 who might not be there next year. I'm thinking about Matondo being one. Or if he is there, he certainly won't be a starter next season. So I don't really think Beale learned that much about his players. I think he would know that they were capable of that kind of performance. I actually think Postecoglou would have learned more about guys like O and Bernabe and Tony Ralston and one or two others who didn't didn't perform anywhere near the standard that he would expect. So if you put all of that into it, going back to your point about the psychology of it all, you can call it meaningless all you want, but you put all of that into it, then it makes it a great, really great for Rangers.